Okay, quilters, here's the deal. Let's say you have a quilt top that is a particular size, and you've worked really hard on this quilt top. It looks just beautiful. But you have a backing that is not quite the right size. You know that there's enough fabric there, but it's just a little short on one of those measurements. So, one thing that you could do, and maybe you have done this, is that you could add another strip. So in the case of this is 10.5 inches, and my backing here is a little bit under 10. It's like just barely under 10 inches. So you could add a strip, and that would be a potential possibility. But look at this. We have so much space, so much fabric here. And that would be a lot of fabric that would go to waste. And maybe this is all of this that you have. Maybe you're not able to get more of it. So then what do you do? Well, what if there was a way that you could use just this one piece and be able to make it big enough to be a backing that goes around this and goes enough around this so that you can actually quilt it? So I'm going to show you how to do that. So like I said, we have 10 inches square here, and this kind of outer part of the square bullseye of my cutting mat is 12 inches. So ideally, you want to look at somewhere between about 12 to 13 inches in this case, proportionally. And I'm using something pretty small in this case because realistically, it's probably a much larger piece that you're doing this on. You're probably doing it on a baby quilt or a throw, something like that, especially baby quilts, because oftentimes those do end up being kind of around width of fabric, and that might end up posing a challenge where you have to add a strip in order to make it big enough to be able to quilt that. We know that 10.5 inches square is going to be a little bit more than 100 square inches. And we also know by simple math that 12 inches square is going to be 144 square inches, and 13 inches square is going to be 169 square inches. So somewhere between 144 and 169, 170 square inches is really, really good, I think. And this is kind of a little bit of an irregular shaped piece. It's almost 10 inches, so we're going to just pretend that it's 10 inches wide because it's pretty close. And then for the length of this one, basically it comes in anywhere between about 18.5 to 19 inches. So if you're thinking of square inches that way, you're probably coming in at about 185 square inches, so that's good. So that might seem like it's too much. However, you got to consider that we do have seam allowances. We are going to have one seam in this, so you have to take that into account. So what we need to do to make this become wider, because that's what we need, is we need this to become shorter and wider in order to accommodate this 10.5-inch piece that we have for our demonstration. So to do that, the easiest way to do that is just to simply cut from one diagonal to the opposite diagonal. And so you could go through and just kind of fold it over. And this might even be the way that you want to do it when it comes to a pretty large piece of fabric. Like, let's say that you have, like a standard width of fabric by a yard, yard and a half, something like that, then you might want to go ahead and just do it that way because that's probably going to be the easiest. And then what you can do is you can just kind of crease it, and you got to be a little gentle with it because we are talking about bias, so we don't want to distort. But by doing that, you do have a crease, and then you can go through and follow and just reposition the ruler all the way up that diagonal. But for this demo, this is short enough. I should be able to use my 24-inch ruler, so that's what I'm going to do. So here we go, and then we're just going to go corner to corner. Just like that. So I've got the little bullseye here. So I think this bullseye on the table is really kind of perfect to be able to kind of illustrate what's going to happen here. So let's go ahead and move this up to where this is, maybe around a little over 12 inches. And then we can move this one down. And now we can see that we're up around the 12.5 inches and not quite 12.5 inches over there, but it is working. And so that's pretty nice. And then let's see if we can get that to go even wider and even more square. And it looks like we can, but we are starting to sacrifice some of our size here. So I'm going to go ahead, just get that position right on the half, and then I'm going to take this, and this little tiny bit is going to be part of the seam allowance, so I think right there is fine. And that's almost right on to 12.5 inches. Remember, there is a little bit of irregularity. It's not an absolute perfect 10 by 18 inches for this demo. And so if we go by that, then what I can do is I can just kind of mark where that tip is, and then I can mark on this piece down here where that tip is. And so now we can see here that I have that little marking, I have that little marking, and I matched them up that way. So I'm just going to move that aside just a little bit. So it's roughly 1/4 inch. I'm not too concerned about having that really super exact. And then I can just position that. And remember, it's biased, so just be gentle when you handle it. And I'm going to go ahead and put a pen on this side and a pen on the opposite side. And then I can flip this over. And doing that, I can see that my little point is doing pretty well right there. So I can go ahead and get this penned, third spot in the center here, just as extra little thing to hold all of this together. And now I am ready to stitch this. So here we are, and I have these edges here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start it just a little bit beyond that. And I am stitching a 1/4 inch seam. So I've got to get my thread here. Here we go. All right, there we are. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this pressed, and then we can trim it, and we can see how we did. Here it is all pressed, so let's see how we did here. Remember, we have that outer square of the bullseye is 12 inches. And I am able to cover that bullseye all the way. And really, this is coming to about maybe 12.5 inches across. And then top and bottom, it looks like it's coming out to almost 13 inches. And then if I line this up, look at that. That is definitely enough space that I can do all of that. So really easy, I can just get this all trimmed up, and that way I have my pieces that I can work with. And this is just, real nice scrap there, but it's very, very little waste. And there we go. That's our only other piece of waste. And just like that, I have a piece that is going to work great for this. And here we go. So you can imagine on something that is a lot bigger that you might want to have a little bit more to kind of factor in. So some considerations here. Obviously, this is going to work really great with something like this that I used, where this is more of kind of a sort of modeled, almost grungy type of thing. So grunges work great. Also, solids would work really, really well in this context as well. I did press the seam over just so that there's not going to be as much of a chance that if this pulls, that you're going to have those exposed threads. It is going to be a big challenge if you try to do a print like this mushroom print, because that would be very difficult to try to match that up. So you definitely want to go for something like this. You could do polka dots. Polka dots would work really well. You could do some of these things like this would work well, this would work well, this would work well. These are all very small scale prints. And you might even be able to get away with gingham if you just make sure to maybe even factor in just a little tiny bit extra, just so you can try to kind of get it close to try to match. But, we're talking about very strange angles. We're not talking about a nice 45-degree angle. And when it comes to the math of this, then just keep in mind what I did here. So we had our 10 by 10 block. It was 10 and a half, but we're keeping it simple here. So that was 100 square inches. And then we want to add on at least 20%. So let's add on about 25%. And that's actually to all of the sides. So really, you need about 50% extra. So for 50% extra, that means you need roughly 150 square inches minimum. But that's also kind of keeping in mind your seam allowances. And so since your seam allowances are going to make things go up just that little tiny bit more, then you're probably looking at about 160 to 170 square inches minimum that you would want for your piece. Now, this worked out really nicely doing 10 by 18. We do have a slight bit extra on two of the sides. I don't think any quilter would complain about having a tiny bit extra like that. So I hope this has been helpful. This is going to help you be able to solve any problems in the future when it comes to a backing fabric that seems like it's a weird kind of measurement. And until next time, happy sewing.